Good evening. Welcome to Investigator News. I'm your host, Ellie Holder. This is the Weather and Lifestyle News Show. Boy, we've gained a lot of viewers, and I thank you for that. Those that shares. Uh, Raccoons drinking beer. Now, I had to take a second look at that, and I read the article, and I think you guys are really going to get a kick out of that one. The weather, oh boy, the weather. Hurricanes, tornadoes, and heat. But we do have a cool off coming. I know we do, and I'm really looking forward to that. And then, of course, we're still getting news out of Maui. Um, and let's see, what else do we got today? Bears. What do you do when you got your toddler sitting next to the door and a bear walks up to a sliding glass door? Wow. To me, that's scary. I'd freak out like I seen a spider. Um, so we're going to move on and get the news, and we have some great trivia. Do you know your co-hosts of movies and a TV series? Huh? I don't know, Susan. What do you think? You think I'm gonna stump Karen tonight? I hope I do. Well, I think they're all too easy. I was looking at them and I was like, you guys got this 100%. Let's see who gets them all right. All right, so we got Ari with the weather, or with the basically hurricanes down in the Gulf.
Eastern Gulf of Mexico early to midweek next week. We're starting to see some trends in the forecast models that are more toward the possibility of a storm developing. And I'm going to explain that in just a second. But here's where the storm is right now. Kind of a broad, weak area of low pressure that's sitting somewhat over Central America. And what it's going to do through the weekend, over the next several days, is it's going to shoot out into the Western Caribbean and then eventually into the southeastern Gulf of Mexico. And that's where it could develop. Again, that's in the Monday to Wednesday of next week timeframe. Now, I mentioned the trends in the forecast models have been pointing more toward a storm forming. And I want to explain what I mean by that. So we're going to go through an example here. This is the European model. This particular model has been pretty consistent with developing some kind of significant storm in the eastern Gulf of Mexico during that time frame early on next week. And when we switch models here, the GFS, I'm going to start off with yesterday's run of the GFS, and I'm going to show you the exact same time frame here. What do you notice in the eastern Gulf of Mexico? It's not showing anything close to what the European model was showing, all right? But you look at today's run of the GFS, what a difference a day can make. Even though it's not showing as significant of a storm as the European is showing, you're starting to see kind of a closed low developing on the GFS model. So the GFS model is trending more toward a storm developing. It's trending stronger. And thus, the chances that we could get a tropical depression or a tropical storm out of this have gone up. And the Hurricane Center is echoing those thoughts. Okay, now either way, regardless of what the storm ends up being, we're going to get a pretty good amount of rain in the southeast from this, not only in Florida, but also up into the Carolinas as well through the end of the week. So be prepared for some pretty heavy rain and start making some preparations, I would say, if you live in Western Florida, because the models have been pretty consistent on the track of the storm, regardless of what it ends up being. We'll keep updating this forecast a lot.
Okay. Yeah, look at that. Rain, rain, rain. Lots of rain. Are we going to see relief from the triple digits? That's what everybody wants to know.
Finally on the way.
Stop you. Are we going to see a little bit of relief? And we're hoping so. I know Texas is hoping for it. I have friends in Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana. We're all just frying. But that 'tis the season, isn't it? For hot 100-degree or more weather. So we're all ready for the rain. We're not ready for the hurricanes nor the tornadoes. All right, here we go.
Relief is finally on the way from sweltering, dangerous heat and record-breaking temperatures across much of the country, courtesy of this cold front, which is going to usher in some cooler air and less humid air. So we're talking a noticeable change that a lot of you are going to see by this weekend. Unfortunately, today, there's not a whole lot of change. We still have some very hot temperatures, high heat indices that will be pushing over 110, even getting close to 120 in a lot of spots throughout the plains and central part of the US. But by this weekend, here comes the changes. So late weekend, Sunday into Monday, notice those temperatures really start to take a dip into the 70s through parts of Chicago, even all the way down to the south. You're going to get rid of most of those 100s and you'll see 80s and 90s pop up in your forecast.
Ah, a big relief. But we go right back up to 99 after a week of cool weather. I was ready for the cool 80s, 90s, 60s at night, 50s. Yeah, well, that's what we need. All right. So, um, um,
So,
have you ever seen the blowouts in the streets? Where a lot of people think, oh, it's water got underneath there. Some think it cracks due to the heat and rises. Well, we're gonna let Danielle Banks tell you about it.
So, what causes
Oops.
roads in the Midwest have been buckling this summer due to extreme heat? So, what causes pavement blowouts? Extreme heat may cause roads to expand. If they expand too much, they buckle up or blow out. The problem is more common with older concrete roads. Blacktop or asphalt is more flexible. Precipitation or humidity can also add to the chances of a pavement blowout.
Pavement blowout. Do you know if your tire messes up, you can't claim that on your insurance? I didn't know that. I had a friend that claimed it. I said, I didn't even know that. All right. I know you guys are dying for the raccoons. The raccoons in Germany have started to steal beer and drink it. They they're addicted, is what they're saying over in Germany. Some Germans refer to them as Washbären or washing bears because their habit of drunking dunking their food before they eat it. They call it the straight up annoyances, especially when their beer is involved. According to what they're saying, vacationers and locals alike are getting home and discovering that raccoons have raided their kitchen, causing thousands of dollars worth of damage, and including killing house pets. What are they in there to steal? Beer. They're still in the beer. All the beer they can find, they say. Even if it's sitting warm. If they smell it in the garage, they'll get into the garage. Um, so the raccoons have been seen in city parks knocking over discarded bottles of beer so they can drink whatever booze was inside. And they're left laying all over the ground at the parks. Nothing's wrong with them. They're okay. They're just Dunkin' drunken raccoons. They are funny and clever and they like their beer, according to German Nature Conservation. Does Beer Thief? Okay, you guys got to see the Beer Thief. Oh, yeah. That's their cartoon for it. And they say sometimes people coming home and find their houses to be smashed up, find the raccoons either in their front or backyard passed out, and sometimes holding their favorite beer. Oh boy. Yeah. Does beer thief? Does beer thief? Yeah. I wonder how come they haven't figured that one out over here yet. I hope not. Drunken raccoons, folks. I knew you guys would love that one. Not so good is WWE champion dies unexpectedly at the age of 36. Um, Wyndham Ratuna, um, he was, let's see, he just, oh boy, I don't know much about wrestling anymore. I used to watch it when it was Mid South, with Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan. And then it got to be, I went and saw a match and I went, how fake is this? I don't know. It looks so good on TV. I didn't watch it much after that. Um, so they said that the tragic news and the family member for the Wyndham Rotunda, also known as Bray Wyatt, unexpectedly passed away. Now, you probably don't know who he is. Let me see if I got a good picture of him. Oh, yeah. All right. But someone else passed away too that I think a lot of us women or, us ladies and older ladies would remember. I don't know if you recognize her name, Hersha Parati. Hersha Parati. Anybody? Do you guys in chat know who she is, Karen or Susan? Does the name sound familiar? It's what got me to do co-stars today. Um, well, she played on the Little House on the Prairie. Does that help any? Does anybody remember who she is? Um, um, she was, they say, the teacher, Alice Garvey, on Little House on the Prairie. There she is. You guys remember her? She portrayed the teacher, Alice Garvey, who attempted to save the children from the burning building on the NBC drama. Um, she was, let's see if I can find out how old she was. 78 years old, folks. So uh, I think Karen's still laughing about the drunk beer, the drunken raccoons with the beer. All right, so this one was here in Arkansas. Oh, come on, you guys. All right. Um, I believe this was here. No, this was in Virginia. I'm sorry. This was in Virginia, Bedford County. A family in Virginia is pulling their son out of high school after they say the school told him to remove one American flag from his truck. Well, he went and he mounted another one on each side of the cab. Well, he was told that he had to go home. He couldn't do that. Um, um, let's see if he'll come up for me. There we go. Um, let's see.
Like I told my son, is if this is what he's believing in, me and his dad are both going to stand behind him all the way to the end of it.
A Bedford County family is pulling their kid out of Stanton River High School. They say they'd rather homeschool him after a controversy surrounding the American flag.
ABC 13's Mia Nelson shows us why this family isn't backing down, along with the school district's response.
Okay, I can't show too much of it without it. So there it is on the back of his truck, and oh no, that is not allowed at school. It's too controversial, and they say it could be considered KKK. It could be considered white supremacy or just being white. Don't we say the Pledge of Allegiance? I mean, I thought that wasn't thought that was an American thing, not a what? Really? Yeah, I'm not too enthused with that one. All right, so this elderly man, he ended up, he fell asleep and he felt something tight on his leg. Now this man was 68 years old, and he woke up in his home to find a snake wrapped around his leg. He said he was so desperate he didn't even think about it. He reached down, he bit the snake. The snake let go. He said it had a grip. He said it felt like it was he was going to die. He while fighting this python. He woke from his nap to a sharp pain around his ankle, and he found a huge python wrapped around his foot to his knee with its teeth in his flesh. So he bit the snake. The snake was definitely identified as a python, and they did. He cried out for help. Now, this just isn't any little snake, folk. Look at the size of this. It could have squeezed him to death. I don't know. Did everybody see it? All right. Karen gets on me because I don't leave pictures up and stuff up too long. I don't want to get copyrighted. They're after me. I keep having problems with my internet and stuff. And yesterday, it wasn't just me. Even Dan Bongino, he had issues. There was at least 100. It was, I think it was at the Western Journal, or it was either, I think it might have been New York Post. I don't want to quote it wrong, so I won't say for sure. But they said 100 people on YouTube lost internet yesterday, or that they had issues with their picture, their sound. So it wasn't just me. And then they also stated they've been having problems for the last 2 weeks. I'm no conspiracy there. I say solar flares. I say solar flares. Now you don't hear Michigan and Ohio having really strong winds, and boy, we've had some fierce ones all the way across this country. And the powerful storms took out 650,000 people in Michigan and Ohio, and was flipping cars off the roads. 75-mile-an-hour wind. That's stronger than what hit LA in winds. They said that large hail has swept through Michigan, Ohio, Thursday to Friday morning. So that was last week. So a bear shows up. Hopefully I could get this. Yeah, it's only 26 seconds. All right. So looky there. There's your two little girls hanging out in front of the window. And lo and behold, here comes the bear. What do you think, Karen? Do you think what you would do if little Peanut was sitting in front of the glass doors and a bear come up? Now folks, that was a smaller bear. That was probably a junior bear, not a baby bear, a little bit bigger, like a teenage bear, but they're still fierce. They're probably 100 to 150 pounds. Wow. I mean, Karen, what would you do? Your little Peanut right there. Oh, good grief. And we do justice for all on Mondays. And this, I think, was justice. An arsonist. This was Broward County. They received a phone call due to a fire at a Power Outreach Ministry church. And they said there was an arsonist who attempted to set the church on fire in Florida. An arsonist, so there was more than one. They accidentally set themselves on fire. So there had to be they had to save the arsonist. I guess, let's see, maybe it'll work. Oh boy. Now there was no sound with that, but you seen what he did. He was pouring gasoline on the front of the church, and when he lit the match, he caught himself on fire, went down, and he thought maybe he could do the same thing over again. I mean, once is ooh, yikes. Twice is what a dummy. So he was caught. He was put out. He did suffer some burns, and the church was okay. Yellowstone tourist faces federal charges after burning himself in the thermal area. What makes people think that they can touch these? I call them mud pits. They're bubbling, and they're like thousands of degrees hot. And people want to do it all the time. They want to get something in a cup, or they want to get something to take as a souvenir, and they end up scalding themselves. And they warn you. There's signs all over the trail at Yellowstone. Don't touch it. Don't touch these um, thermal pods. Leave them alone. And this guy, he's 49. He's now banned from visiting Yellowstone forever. They say that you know you just can't touch that stuff. Oh boy. I mean, it's beautiful out there, and it looks beautiful and it's pretty, but no, don't touch the water, don't touch the mud. Ah. Um, Now, Idaho Fish and Game believes a Salmon Park. Um, um, they at first thought it was a joke, and then they started realizing that this was actually true. They found a shark on the bank. They actually had a shark in one of their. Uh, it's a they say a lake that leads from. I'm assuming part of one of the big rivers. And they said they couldn't believe it. They said they thought it was a joke. Someone placed a shark, and they discovered it on a riverbank in Idaho last week, alarming residents in the landlocked state. And they said it was on the Salmon River near Riggins. They said wildlife officials responded to it in what appeared to be a salmon shark. It's named for its diet of salmon. It could grow up to 10 feet long and weigh up to 1,000 pounds. So everybody thought it was odd, but everybody called it in as a shark, and the Fish and Game had never seen one before. So there you go. We got it. Boy. Now I know I wouldn't be too happy if I seen something like this. Look at them teeth. What about even having a gator, come up on shore? Well, thank you. Right there. Sharks can appear in lakes and rivers. It's not unheard of. We just have gar, is what we got. The ones with the teeth. I haven't heard of no sharks here, but we got the gar and the sturgeon, but the gar, they've got teeth, and then it's not unusual to hear of gator up in our state. They just swim on it up, especially in the south where it's more swampy. All right, so we're down to oh boy, what did I do? Just jump on through here today? Did I miss anything? Um, I believe I got it all. But I'm down to the funny post, and we do have some great trivia coming up in the next hour. And I think, folks, I'm going to do most of the news before, and then run a lot of the trivia at the end. I'm getting a lot of emails about why don't you run the news, and then those that really don't want to hear the news, they can just do trivia. And I thought, well, we'll give it a try tonight. All right, so why aren't you married? Your kid that's not married, or a friend, or that strange bachelor that comes to your house. Why aren't you married? You haven't asked yet. What? I was hoping to do something meaningful with my life. Oh, yeah, they got some good excuses. Because I just love hearing this question. Here's another one. Just lucky, I guess. Uh, it gives my mother something to live for. My fiance is waiting for his or her parole. Well, that's a good one to wait. Yeah. I'm still hoping for a shot at Miss or Mr. America. Do you know how hard it is to get 2 tickets to Miss Saigon? Ah, yikes. I'm waiting until I get to be your age. William's up. William, you going to be up for the co-host trivia? It's stars that were co-hosts in movies and TV. I was telling Susan, I think it's going to be too easy. Okay. All right. So you're, why aren't you married? I didn't seem worth a blood test. I already have enough laundry to do, thank you. Because it would take all the spontaneity out of dating. My co-op board doesn't allow spouses. I have to forfeit my $1 billion trust fund. They just wait, they say. They just opened a great singles bar on my block. I wouldn't want my parents to drop dead from sheer happiness. I guess it just goes to prove that you can't trust those voodoo doll rituals. Wait, and lose all the money I've invested in running personal ads? Why aren't you thin? Oh boy, that'll get you hit. I'm married to my career, and although recently we've been considering a trial separation. Bonus reply for single mothers, because having a husband and a child would be redundant. All right, folks, that's it for today. I know it's a quick show for a Friday. Like I always say, go and get you a movie tonight. Find a movie on one of the social sites, YouTube or Tubi or some of the other ones, Showtime, Prime Time. I don't know. There's a bunch of them out there. Not go get you something at the Red Box. Or, catch a movie this weekend. All right, folks, we will see you all on Monday. If not, if you're going to join us for trivia, we'll see you in about 30 minutes. You guys have a wonderful weekend, and God bless.